Hello everyone, this is editing Josh right now. I just want to say, because I almost forgot about this, shout out to Medium Dragon 923. He's one of my friends. His channel isn't really popular at the moment, only 50 subscribers, so to me that's not really a lot. Please, I know you don't have to, but can you guys please subscribe to his channel? Shout out to my boy. Just help his channel out, help him gain some subscribers here and there. Let's hope we can get him to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Alright, back to the story. It all started on one beautiful summer day in 1996. That year I'll personally never forget. I'm about to tell you why. It all started on one Friday morning after school. That was gonna be over for the summer. Me and my friends were honestly really excited for the school year to end because of the lack of work we had to do over the summer. Honestly, the school day, like any other day, went by pretty slowly, but it was still a very normal school day. After school, me and my friends decided to go over to the local arcade down the street from my school. While walking, one of my friends, let's call him Henry, said that he felt like he was being watched during his walk to the arcade. Honestly, I felt the same way, but we shrugged it off as we entered the arcade for the evening. It was getting pretty dark out, and the feeling of being stalked grew worse as time progressed. Me and my friends decided to go home for the night after we decided to leave the arcade. We decided to take a shortcut through the woods as we grabbed our flashlights and walked through the dark, dreary woods. While heading out, we heard a weird noise in the distance. It sounded like a screech of something human or an animal of some sort. In any case, we got freaked the fuck out by that noise, and one of my other friends, Ryan, said that it would be best to go to his brother's place since it was the closest to the arcade. We reluctantly agreed, as the house that he lived at was not a normal house. It was an old trailer park that honestly smelled like shit. But we didn't want to go there, but it was also getting pretty creepy, so we decided to go as we walked through the dark woods. Honestly, the feeling that we had was getting super fucking freaky, and by judging by my other friends' expressions, they must have thought the same. While walking, we heard something. It sounded like heavy footsteps, but something was off about the pattern of the footsteps. It sounded more quick and irregular. Something about the way the footsteps walked sounded human, but the pattern in which they sounded was off. I recommend to my friends that we should stop walking for a second to listen. The footsteps, after all of us stopped, continued for a second, then stopped seconds after ours did. This freaked us out even worse, so we ran faster this time. We eventually went to my friend Ryan's house to stay the night. It was only 4 of us, those being me, Greg, Ryan, and Henry. Even though there was 4 of us, we still felt very unsafe walking up to the house. The house wasn't an ordinary house, as I said. This house in particular was a trailer. This did not help the situation. My friend had trouble getting into the house as his keys were in his back pocket. He was reaching for them, but while he was, midway while doing so, we could all hear something in the woods behind us. The sound sounded like the same as they did while we were in the woods, but a lot faster. My friend fumbled for the keys as the sound of the footsteps grew nearer and nearer. He opened the door, and we all ran inside, with the sound of whatever that thing is right behind us. The footsteps grew louder, as we could hear that thing chasing us. I slammed the door on the creature, as not even a few seconds later, we heard a loud, heavy thump at the door. Me and my friends all clearly shit ourselves as we waited in the dark for a while, without making a single sound. All of us were in there as we heard crickets chirping outside as we waited. All of us looked at each other, in surprise and horror after what just happened. What if that thing knows where my friend Ryan lives now, and it knows we're hiding in here? While waiting in the dark living room, we heard some weird noises outside the trailer. We could hear low screeching and growling as we heard whatever the fuck that thing was walking around and scraping on the trailer walls. The trailer shook as that thing messed around with it. The only thing that was protecting us from this thing were thin walls and a rotten door that had problems closing. The only way how we managed to close the door was by slamming it full fucking force. So if this thing decided to get in, it could if it wanted to. My friend Greg told us that he would be calling the cops on the pickup phone that was on the kitchen counter. He told us that we should go to Ryan's bedroom, and Ryan agreed we followed him into his bedroom. The lights were on in his bedroom, so we turned them off as fast as possible whenever we entered. Whatever that thing was must have noticed this, because we heard only a few seconds later something ring up to the window and hitting it very loudly. We stayed quiet and we laid on the old creaky floor, not moving a muscle, not even breathing. We heard Greg on the phone to the cops, explaining the situation to them. My friend had a metal baseball bat in his room, so he grabbed it. My friend Greg runs to the room in panic, and he begins to explain to us how the line got cut before he could even explain where we were to the police. "Oh, fuck," my friend Ryan said, as my friend Ryan looked out the window, and he saw the most disturbing thing he had ever clearly seen. The creature disabled the phone line in the fucking backyard that could have helped us get out of this creature's grasp. Because of that, that's why the line got cut, and that's why we weren't able to call the police in time. We had to do something, but what? We could not waste a single fucking time with that thing around. Who knows how strong, smart, and fast this thing could possibly be, and we didn't want to find out. Just then, we heard something from the living room. It sounded like a door being broken down. We heard the old rotten wood peeling from the door as the door fell to pieces on the ground. My friend Ryan opened his window quietly and ushered us toward the window, so he jumped out before being detected by our pursuer. Right as I was about to jump out, I was the last one by the way, something busted through Ryan's fucking bedroom. That thing must have fucking heard us. Right when I was about to jump out, something scratched my leg and held it firmly, preventing me from jumping out the window. My friend Ryan swung his bat at the thing as I also kicked it off of me at the same time. As that thing let grasp of my leg, I fell to the ground, as my leg felt very painful as I hit the ground very hard. My friends helped me run up as we ran toward the bushes. That thing was about to see us if we didn't act fast. We ran into Ryan's shed quietly, without drawing any attention to us in the backyard. I shut the door quietly as we all hid in the old shed, as my friend Ryan also barricaded it. We could hear that thing running around. I decided it would be a good idea for me to look out the window without being spotted. That's when I saw the damn creature. It was tall, very, very pale. The creature looked very tall, about 7 foot tall at best. It was super skinny. I mean really skinny, with circular, dark eyes. It crawled around on all fours, very, very fucking fast. It almost spotted me, so I ducked back as fast as I can before it could see me. That thing, or whatever it was, wasn't human at all. It crawled super fast, and we stayed quiet as my friends looked at the fear on my face. They already knew how bad that thing looked, judging by my facial expression. We all knew it would be a matter of time before that thing found us, so we had to act fast. God knows what will happen if that thing caught us. We decided with the time we had left, it would be best to not waste the time just doing nothing. So we decided to look around for anything in the shed to defend ourselves with, since it was of course a shed. And the best thing we found was a fucking broken beer bottle and a couple of sharp objects in the room. We waited for a while, all of us armed with the sharp objects we found around the shed. Eventually, we heard fast footsteps running toward the shed. "Fuck!" I screamed as we heard the loud bang at the door. Remember how my friend Ryan sealed it off? Well, it would be a while before that thing got in. It knows we are here now. The door busted open eventually as we heard that thing enter the room. We stayed hidden in the shed as that thing, or whatever it was, walked around. I could hear that thing growling and snorting as it walked around the shed. That's when I heard a very loud screech very loudly as one of my friends was grabbed and attacked from the beast. We all ran out of our spots and helped defend Henry from that monster or whatever it was. We smashed the bottles into his face as it ran out in pain. We waited in the shed for what felt like hours, wide awake the whole time, until it became daylight again. When it did, we all went over to my house to stay the week there, as whatever that creature was, or is, doesn't know where I live. But, well, my friend who got attacked, Henry, was in the hospital for multiple stitches across his body. He survived luckily, but that thing, or whatever it is still somewhere out there. God knows what it's doing right now. Listen, if you're listening to this, please, whatever you do, never go out past dusk. Otherwise, that thing might find you next. It could be anywhere now, and it's only a matter of time before that thing finds someone else.